Okay, there are some other settings in here on the camera that I need to make sure that you double check and change to certain things. I just kind of showed you some of the initial ones before. This one is kind of just main initial camera setup. Most of these you can just set the one time and then just forget about them. So you won't ever need to change them. So let's go to menu first right here. And we're gonna go use your left arrow key all the way, and we're gonna go up to, we're gonna start with the playback menu. And the playback menu is going to have some stuff that's just going to be grayed out, and that's fine. And what we're going to do is just go to your right arrow. We're going to go over here, just go down to playback options. That should just be set at none, image only. Basically what you want, these are just your playback options. The ones that are turned on and off, you want to make sure that none is on, highlights is on, shooting data is on, RGB histogram you don't need, overview is on, and really those are the four main ones that you need to be able to see and scroll through that, because that's how you get your main histogram information. All right, go back to your left. We're going to go down here to auto image rotation. You want that to be on. So just hit OK, make sure it's on, hit OK again. Rotate tall, you want to be off. And keep going down. There we go. That's the last one on the playback menu. Now go back down here to the shooting menu. Shooting menu, go over and reset shooting menu. Just leave that alone. File naming. This is the important part. See how it says 102? That is the 3-digit code that's on every file number from this camera. So you can change that on this one, like you couldn't do that on the Canons. On this one you can. So what you want to do is you want to have one of the cameras be 101, the second camera be 102, 103, and 104 for each one of the 4 different cameras. That way, if all of the images get put into one folder, there's no duplicates. That's super important, especially with the way that we do production now, because everything gets jumped into one place and there can't be any duplicate file names. All right, so basically just go ahead and click on that and click on file naming. You'll notice there's a right arrow again, and so we'll just do right arrow, and then you can choose what that's going to say. You can use letters or numbers. It's best just to do 101, 102, 103, and 104. So you can just select that first one, and then select the second one, and select the third one, and then just hit OK at the bottom of the screen, and you're good. All right. Image quality is actually one of those main menu ones that you had, and so that's fine. Image size is large. If you go into there, those are your options. We want that large because of how we're photographing things. That full 24 megapixel. RAW 14-bit, not that you're shooting in RAW, but that's okay. ISO sensitivities, basically this is, you can control this from the main thing. That'll change depending, don't need to worry about the shooting menu part of that. White balance will be on pre at all times. Set your picture control to neutral, that's the NL. We showed you that a little earlier. Picture control management, don't worry about that one. That's grayed out, not grayed out, but basically there's just nothing back there that you need. Color space is sRGB. Do not use Adobe RGB. Bad things happen if you do that. You don't want that. Active D lighting, we have all of ours on auto. Auto or off is fine. HDR off. Release mode, you want to be S for single shot, not continuous frame. So just single shot is fine. Long exposure off. High ISO noise reduction, high. Vignette control, normal. Auto distortion control off. Optical VR on. And movie settings you don't need to worry about because you're not doing movies. All right, go down here to the custom settings menu and go into right arrow into autofocus, and you'll want your autofocus to be focus, not release, and you want it to be number of focal points 39. There are 11 or 39. Just use 39, seems to work just fine. Built-in autofocus illuminator is off. Rangefinder is off. Manual focus ring and autofocus mode is on, even though you're not going to be really using the manual focus ring. EV steps for control exposure, just 1/3. ISO display on. Shutter release button AEL off. I'm not actually sure what this one is. Just this is the one this is the camera we use, and it seems to be fine the way it is. Auto timer's normal. Self timer off. Delay exposure, auto exposure delay mode off. File sequence on. View, that is, just leave that on. File sequence number just keeps going. If you stopped at file 1002, the next time you use the camera, it'll be file 1003. Next time you use it, it'll just be wherever you left off if you use that. Viewfinder grid display off. You can actually turn that on if you'd like. We have ours off. Just play with the on or with it off. We have ours off because our cameras have special grids in them already. So date stamp off, reverse indicators. I'm not even sure what that is. Just ignore it, I guess. Flash control for built-in flash TTL. Auto bracketing AE. Assign function button ISO. I'm not really sure. A couple of these actually do, so I just don't worry about them. All right, we're going to go back to the left again. We're going to go down to setup menu and image comment off, copyright information off, zone, time, and date. Please set that to your time zone. And you want the date format to be month, day, year, and daylight savings time for you would be off. And go down to time and date. Please make sure that you are on the correct time and the correct date. We do on occasion need to see the metadata and when a file was taken and when it was photographed. Sometimes we sort by that data. So please make sure that this is the same on every one of your cameras. An easy way to do that is to get all 4 cameras all lined up in a row and get this to set. And get this set to the same number all of a sudden. Hit OK on 2 of the cameras and immediately hit OK on the other 2 cameras. And you're within a second of each other. It's just best to have all the cameras always, as close to being exactly the same as possible. All right, we're just going to hit OK. And we're going to go back here. Language, English. Beep options off. I hate it when my camera beeps at me when I take photos and whatnot. Touch controls on. That's where you can, whether your screen's either a touch screen or not. In fact, here you go. We can go down here to monitor brightness. There you go. Monitor brightness. Once you read your histogram and get an exposure done, kind of see what your monitor looks like. If it looks good, basically what you want is if you can, I don't know if you can see it, there's a black bar right here. Basically, you want your monitor brightness to be right here. There you go. So if we go all the way up, you can see there's what's supposed to be a black bar there and a white bar there. You want your screen to be to where you can barely see that last black bar. At -1, all right, at -2, I can't see it at all. It's like gone. I think you can see it on yours, but on the screen there. But for in real life, that one basically has gone completely away, which is probably pretty good. And so that I can see it. That one I can barely see it. I can only see it because it's there, and that's actually where this should probably be. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to continue down into info display format, auto scene effects. I'm not even sure what this one is, to be honest. Auto info display on, info display auto off, clean image sensor, just don't worry about it. Lock mirror up for cleaning, don't worry about that right now. Flicker reduction auto, slot empty release lock, yes, lock. HDMI off, whatever, just leave it. Location data, I think this might be geotagging. I'm not sure. Yeah, just ignore all that. Remote control off, or Airplane mode off, connect smart device, no. You can actually connect this to your smartphone and see the photos on your phone as you're taking photos. It's actually kind of a cool thing for certain reasons. If we ever need to do that, if you think you need to do that, by all means, we'll give you a couple tutorials on how to get that all set up. You can actually do Wi-Fi and everything else and Bluetooth. That's how you connect to your phone. Conformity marking, firmware version. Okay, just leave those the where they are. Firmware version should be 1.03. It should just be these things. If it's not, we'll talk, but whatever you have currently is probably fine. All right, gonna go down here to retouch menu. That's pretty much just all off. This option is not available at current setting or in the camera's current state, which is fine. There's really nothing in here that you need. You're going to shoot a JPEG, and there you go. Add item. You can make your own menu if you want, just to shortcut some stuff. And that's it. That should be pretty much everything that you need. If you need anything else, let me know. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.